At an age when most kids are just learning how to drive, Matt Guthmiller was learning how to fly. And now he's a world record holder. At 19, he's the youngest pilot ever to circumnavigate the globe, and he did it alone. Carter Evans has more.
He flew 30,000 miles, making 23 stops in 15 countries on 5 continents. Along the way, South Dakota teenager Matt Guthmiller was treated like a rock star for his record-breaking flight. But he also heard what critics had to say.
It's too risky, or, this is just some spoiled rich brat, going out and having a good time.
What do you say to those people?
Not much. It was certainly a lot of fun. I had a good time, but it was a lot of work, and, and I hope that what I did inspires other people to go out and do big things.
He was inspired to pilot a plane at an early age, first asking his parents to take him to airport cafes. Later, he pushed for flying lessons.
They agreed to let me do this little $20, 20-minute intro flight, but I think they probably thought that was just going to be the end of it.
He soon made a deal to get more time in the cockpit.
Things like a little arrangement, where I share a car with my dad throughout high school instead of having my own car. In exchange, I got to fly planes.
Do you own a car?
No, I've never had a car.
So you have a plane, but no car?
Right.
By the age of 17, he had his pilot's license, and 2 years later leased this single-engine Beechcraft for his solo flight around the world. The MIT student performed plane maintenance and his own fuel calculations. Long hours in the air also meant some additional fuel for him as well.
How did you stay alert?
Basically, a lot of caffeine and Oreos.
So on one of those long legs, how many Oreos and sodas were you going through?
It varied. There was one where I probably, I went through like a couple, like whole rows of Oreos.
Flying into the clouds was both beautiful and dangerous. Air traffic controllers in other countries did not have the weather radar to help him navigate around thunderstorms.
I have no idea, which clouds are just a little bit higher than where I'm at, and which ones, go up to 45,000 feet and will, break the plane apart.
You're flying a plane that's not pressurized, it doesn't have oxygen, so you have a fairly low ceiling. You can't fly above all the clouds.
Right, and with a bunch of fuel, it's also hard to get up.
One day after our interview, another young pilot, 17-year-old Horace Suleiman, died after crashing his plane on what Guthmiller calls the most difficult leg of his own journey, American Samoa to Hawaii. Guthmiller flew from the same airstrip as Suleiman and says the takeoff is technically challenging because of the heavy fuel load needed for the 16-hour stretch. In spite of the risks and even a fear of heights, Guthmiller succeeded in breaking the record and raising money for computer science education through code.org. He's a coder himself who started his own tech company at the age of 12, and his goals are more than sky high.
I think it'd be really cool to start the next Apple, but we'll see how that goes.
Aiming high, right?
Yeah. I guess that's kind of how I look at everything. Shoot for the stars, you get somewhere good.
For CBS This Morning, Saturday, Carter Evans.
I like that philosophy, and I like parents who support a kid's ambitions.
I think so often we assume kids like that also want media attention. He actually said he's exhausted and a bit overwhelmed at how interested people have been.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.